What's up, guys? So I want to thank everybody for watching our video for our sorcerer guide yesterday. If it's your first time here, I'll put the link in the description, and then I'll also put a tag somewhere up here. There'll be like a tag. So I think it's over here, maybe over there. I don't know. Anyways, there, so you guys can watch the video if you didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday. There are a few tweaks that we're going to change that are going to make the build even better than it already is. And we also discovered some a pretty big bug that with the Barber heart, thanks to one of our viewers from yesterday. We tested what they said in their comment, and they are absolutely correct. And so we're going to highlight a couple comments that you guys had. They were really good input, and then we're going to go over some build changes, and depending if you're using the Barber or not. Okay? All right, let's do it. All right, so if you are using the guide from yesterday, there's not too many changes that you need to make if you are not using the Barber heart. If you are using the Barber heart, there is a massive bug right now, and we're going to cover that a little bit later in the video. It's going to be a whole section of the video that we're going to go through, and we're going to test it and show you. We're also going to highlight the comment from the viewer that brought it up. Thank you so much once again for bringing that up because it's bugged, right? So if you're not using the Barber, totally okay. The build is fine exactly how it is. There's a couple little tweaks I would make. So this gentleman right here actually asked us why we were not using any of the new aspects that came out, the new buffed aspects, and it had him baffled. Well, he's absolutely right. He should be baffled because they are insanely good. I read the patch notes. I even made a patch notes video, and I just didn't think it was going to be that good. I didn't think it would change that much, right? I don't know. I was wrong. Okay, so I'm more than happy to admit I was wrong. So a couple changes that I would make. If you're using Frostburn, that's fine. What I decided to do is I decided to swap Frostburn out. We ended up finding a really good pair of gloves. We just picked them up here. So if you see the stats on these, it's pretty insane. The only really bad stat is the lucky hit chance to heal, but everything else is insanely good. So we decided to use these, and then we put the aspect of the unbroken tether here. This is insane. This is really, really good. It's way better than I thought it would be, right? So that's what we did there. And then for our ring, we decided to use the new recharging aspect instead of the prodigies aspect. I think they're both fine. One thing I will say is that prodigies aspect or recharging aspect tends to perform better on bosses. And then Prodigy's aspect tends to perform better during the dungeon. So really just depends on what you want. I opted for this one, and it's even a Codex of Power one, and it still does fine. So once I get a better rolled one, I'll replace it. But the Codex of Power one has been fine for me just because of how much Chain Lightning bounces, especially with this aspect. Okay. Another small tweak that we made, we decided to move the shared misery aspect to our boots instead. Exploiters is not really necessary because we kill things so fast that the extra CC is not really worth it. I mean, the unstoppable enemies is kind of worth it, but I just wanted shared misery here. I feel like that was just a little bit better, but if you like exploiters better, feel free to use those instead. This is more of really just a preference call here. It's not really going to make too much of a difference one way or the other. It's really just what you prefer to play with. And then the others, if you do decide to do this, with the pack increase size with 1.1.1, I found that I needed a little bit more survivability. So I decided to put Ever Living on our helm instead of the Shared Misery. Swap Shared Misery down to the boots. And then another small tweak that we made is we took Disobedience off of our amulet and we put it on our pants instead. We got rid of Frost Blitz. I really wish we could have Frost Blitz too, but Disobedience is just necessary, man. It's just, I wish it wasn't necessary because I would rather have Frostbolt here, or Frostblitz, excuse me, but we need Disobedience. And the reason why we took this off our amulet is because we decided to put Elementalists on our amulet. This is a Codex of Power one, so it's a low rolled one. But this is going to just drastically increase your crit strike. So those are the few tweaks that I would make as far as aspects go. Not too big of changes, just more kind of shifting stuff around. This is just my preference, and this is just a guide, right? So if you guys find other things that are working for you and that you like better, drop it in the comments, and I'll check it out and let you know, hey, this is way better, or I like this better. We can have a discourse about that, okay? As far as the skill tree goes, there's a couple things that I would change if you're not using the Barber Heart. One of the things I would do is once you fix the mana problems, I would take the points out of Invigorating Conduit. I found that I didn't need to pick up Crackling Energy really at all to refill my mana bar. It was more so just picking it up for the damage for our charged glyph and our Paragon board, and then just to refill our bar, our Crackling Energy bar. We didn't really need it for the mana anymore. So I took those 3 points out, and then you can either put them into Lightning Spear. This is what I chose to do. And then I went to Summoned Lightning Spear. We're always picking up Crackling Energy, so this is going to increase our Lightning Spear's damage by quite a bit. The other option that you can do as well is you can also do Ball Lightning and then go to Wizard's Ball Lightning. Once again, this is really just a preference call. Whichever one you prefer, they're both good. I just prefer the Lightning Spear a little bit more. That was just what I liked, right? Everything else, for the most part, is the same. Don't pay attention to my board right here because I am using the Barber. So we're gonna go into that in the next section. So let's go. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the bug that is going on with the Barber. So there is a bug right now with the Barber, and thank you so much to this viewer for pointing it out. There is a bug right now where Lucky Hit is not functioning correctly. Now, it seems to only be when instances of damage are required, which primarily is off of just the Lucky Hit chance. So Frostburn doesn't work correctly. Fists of Fate don't work if you're using Fists of Fate. Don't use those, by the way. They're not good, but these things don't work with the Barber, right? So I'll show you tests so you can see. But it seems to only be this. The other things, the Lucky Mana Hit, the Lucky Hit with Barrier, all that stuff seems to work okay. It's mainly just the Lucky Hit chance, right? So that's really unfortunate because what that means is that means that we cannot use the Greater Chain Lightning. We are forced to use what we were using before, which is the chance to form Crackling Energy, because you're gonna see right now if we have right now on the Greater Chain Lightning, and we have the Static Discharge like we had before, and you're gonna see we're gonna hardly charge, or we're hardly gonna spawn any Crackling Energy. We'll see in a second once we find a pack.
I'm not ready yet.
So no Crackling Energy. Oh, there's one. Well, we got a couple, right? But not. Oh, you know what? Those are the leftover ones we had earlier. So, okay, so yeah. So no Crackling Energy so far, right?
I'm not ready yet.
There's one. There's another one. Right? Hardly any spawning, right? We'll do another pack just so you guys can see.
I'm not ready yet.
Okay, nope. Nothing. Oh, we got one. We got one, right? So you can see it's clearly bugged, right? So we'll show you the we'll show you without it. All right, so this is now without the Barber. So we have switched the Barber out. All of our skill points are still the same, right? We haven't changed our skill points, and you'll see here we're gonna spawn a lot more Crackling Energy. Right, so we already just spawned 4, right? There's another one. There's another one, right? So it's functioning how it should function, right? So it is bugged. So let's finish killing these guys off. So if we're gonna use the Barber, what we want to do for our skills, we'll show you what you guys want to do. So let's go ahead and switch back to the Barber, because I still think the Barber is the better choice just the better damage choice. So what we're gonna do, we unfortunately cannot use this. We have to use this, otherwise we get hardly any crackling energy whatsoever. So we'll just go through from the beginning because it is a pretty different skill tree because of this not working. So same thing, two points in Flame Bolt. Frozen Orb didn't change. So the change that we made here, we put 1 point in Devastation. We're putting 3 points in Elemental Dominance. Okay. Chain Lightning's the same. We're maxing all this out. We're doing a Destructive Chain Lightning instead of the Greater Chain Lightning because it doesn't work. We're gonna take. We're going to put 3 points in here in a second. I got to fix this because we had it for the testing purposes. So we're going to put the points into Charge Bolt as well. And the Destructive Charge Bolts. That gives us the extra damage reduction. All of this stuff stays the same. We decided, now this is a preference call. You don't have to do this. You can keep the 2 points in Flame Shield. If you do keep the 2 points there, then you just won't put the 2 points in Icy Veil. I decided to try this. I haven't really came to a verdict or not, whether I like it or not. I'll let you guys know if this is what I decide to go with, but I'm testing it. It seems to be okay right now. I do like having the healing here, but having the 10% longer barrier is kind of nice. But everything else here stays